Can you describe its form?
No.
Welcome back to No Filter, hashtag No Filter. Today we are reviewing a film that came out in theaters, well, as of today, it came out in theaters a couple weeks ago, called Annihilation. And by the time this review drops, well, it's going to be on DVD, and our prediction, I believe it is the prediction of both myself and Josh, is that correct?
That's right.
It's going to do pretty well on DVD. It's gotten good word of mouth already, but it's tanked at the box office. Oh, I'm Dom. Fuck. You know what? I'm Dom, and he's Josh. Hopefully you've seen one of the first two episodes. Probably not. Oh, God. Okay, so... Annihilation, starring Natalie Portman.
So it has to be the same.
You were really stoked to see this one.
At first, yeah, I was.
At first. Well, anyway, you liked it. Like, let's do a spoiler-free general review stuff out of the way.
That's what we already do. Okay.
Yeah, just for a few minutes. You didn't like it? I didn't know you liked it though.
No,
right?
I did like it.
Okay.
I liked it better the first time. The second time, I was hyper analytical. It could have been the mushrooms we were on, but I watched it the second time on freeze frame, it seemed, and I wasn't really sure what to think. I started seeing patterns that I didn't like. So.
Okay. Yeah, you saw it twice. I saw it just the one time, and I liked it. It was a little. It did feel herky-jerky because of the way we were watching it. The projector's reel kept screwing up. So, darn it.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it. I was surprised when I only saw the TV spots. I didn't even see the real trailer. It looked okay, and I think the trailer should have been, or at least the TV spots should have revealed more about the film, because it's more than what you're thinking it is. It's cool. I dug it, and without revealing too much, Natalie Portman basically, well, wakes up. Let's say that she finds herself going into a very experimental... I'm not doing a good job. Help me out.
The film opens up with a lot of mystery. She doesn't know what happened to her husband, but very quickly he appears, and her acting carried the movie. Had that been another actress who couldn't act, it would have tanked immediately. And it would look like every other fucking Netflix original I've ever seen. But because...
Yeah, how many have you seen? 2, 3?
Well, I try to keep it to a minimum because they all suck a dick, but this one didn't. This was a good Netflix original film. Ironically, it wasn't viewed as a Netflix original in America, only everywhere else. But they don't matter, right? Only America matters.
Other countries? No.
Apparently, Paramount distributed it in the United States. And, anyways, back to Natalie Portman, right?
Yeah, what's happening in the movie? What happens?
She...
Oh, I got it from here. I figured it out.
All right.
So her husband comes back. He was in a military thing. Something bad happened. He comes back, but he's not quite right. Okay, now you go. There's a thing, and it's called The Shimmer. It's called The Shimmer. And it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it's expanding. And what is it? And so she goes in with a few other broads.
They were all tough as nails until they got into it and saw an alligator. And ironically, all of the ethnic people got freaked out by a water creature. I thought that was racist.
I didn't even notice that. See,
Why did both the black people go, oh, hell no, I'm not getting in that water?
They weren't black, first of all.
Oh, they were Latin American.
Whatever. I didn't even notice that,
No,
so
they
you're the
were black.
racist.
Both of
You're a
those
racist for
black.
even noticing that.
Maybe.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, it's just it's like a weird little bubble of a world that keeps expanding, And that's all I really need to say.
And everyone that we encountered, and we only encountered like one person, and that was the blonde woman who was
Wait, don't get too. Let's just talk more about the movie, like what we thought of it. We'll get into more specific plot stuff in a little bit.
Well, I'm thinking about what I thought about it, and everyone seemed to be on some form of Valium. They were all whispering and shit.
Not all of them. You're thinking
I'm
of
not
the.
sure about the spectrum. I'm not sure what it is. That's what they kept doing.
Okay, well, they didn't have a reason to scream it. They were like 2 fucking feet away from each other.
This is a military compound. People scream on military bases just because.
Okay, well, the one you're talking about, Visner, something like
I
that.
don't know.
With the blonde
The
hair.
fact that you picked up her name is impressive.
Barely. I don't even.
It's impressive. He knows names, and I'm like, wow.
With the blonde hair, not the long blonde hair, the one with the medium length. That to me was just a part of her character. Like the fact you can tell she's seen some shit and she's a little jaded. Mm-hmm. I think that explains some of her what you would call dull delivery. I think it's not dull, it's dulled.
Dulled.
Yeah, by something we don't know what. We don't learn much about her.
It seems like the spectrum or the field was putting off a gravitas, and it was causing everyone to have a dulled sensory projection.
I liked the lead up, up until, by lead up I mean until we see the bubble blob or whatever it is, until we see the shimmer. And real quick, and this isn't too specific, I told him earlier, I don't like the effects they used for the outside of the shimmer field, the force field, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2018. It looked very 96 to me.
Yeah.
And I don't...
Well, can I talk about the budget?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So the budget was $40 million, and Dominic would point out very quickly that that's an average size film.
For Hollywood.
Hollywood. But I know I saw the budget list in person on set with 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, and it was way less than that. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm over here thinking $40 million fucking dollars, and that's the best they can do? I mean, it was good, and I thought it was, I thought the story was unique, and that holds value for me, but what the fuck? Like, can you not do better than that? Even at the end, and we won't spoil yet, but at the end with we'll call it a mimic. I was kind of it felt like I was watching, like you said, a Tool video from '96. You know, and it was full of metaphor and double entendre, and you know.
Yeah, I should clarify the inside of the shimmer. It looks fine, and there's some really nice visuals there.
The spectrums were good.
Yeah, nice vistas. But the outside of the shimmer, it almost looks like an old Peter Gabriel music video, like Kiss the Frog, which has a lot of that kind of silvery shit going on in it. But I liked the build-up. I thought the characters were well developed. Even the ones we don't see that much of, I thought were well developed.
You mean like her husband?
Her husband, the other girls that she's with. We don't need to know everything about them.
And I'm glad we didn't dive into their history. I just would have wasted our time.
We learned a little bit about what's dragging them down. But like one has like addiction problem, and but that's really all we need to know. The rest of it, and it's not her that says it; it's someone else. I like that.
Yeah.
But I like that aspect of it. Let's talk about the ending, because at that point, earlier in the film, one of the characters makes a reference to duplicates, and we find out why. This alien life form, because it was a meteor that crashed.
Yeah.
Like all good alien films.
It was a meteor or was it a spaceship? I don't know.
Yeah, something crashed on Earth, and it makes Well, okay, yeah. It approximates a human being. Kind of like it's just Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's a pod person.
Yeah.
And at the end, it does that with Natalie Portman, or tries to.
Yeah, it leaves a lot to insinuate. It doesn't tell you the whole story. And I read a thing that the director was saying, and he was giving respect to the audience by not providing answers to everything. And I don't know if you believe in that, but
I do at some points. And really, I think this film did that okay. I didn't think everything needed to be spelled out. I got it. I felt like I got what it was trying to say. But really, even the duplicate thing, that's not very original. It did it in an original way. But like you said, the effects for the aliens... Yeah, we've seen that in Tool videos. Not kidding, literally in Tool videos.
And Tool did it better.
Yeah, fucking Tool.
On VHS.
The guitarist directed most of their music videos.
Given he's a genius. What's his name?
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones is a fucking genius. I'm tired of his genius, but he is a genius.
Yeah, fuck him for being a genius. Right. I'm sorry, fuck him.
It's our turn. We're geniuses now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Adam Jones.
Yeah. You say something about that movie we saw.
Well, I have a lot to say. My first thing I want to say is I also read that, he read the book, which I can't recall who wrote the book, but whatever. And he said, I just felt like it was an original story, and everything about it was new and unique compared to all the other drab stories out there that seem to just be repopulating themselves, and they're just remakes of other stories. And here we are seeing a meteor crash to Earth, and it's seemingly like the Blob growing slowly, and there's an alien that's mimicking human life, and then there are monsters that are changing their DNA. I've seen all of these things before.
That's true. I did feel like this one... It cast a different light on those tropes. I thought it did those things well. It was.
I mean, I'm going to give it a good review score, but at the same time...
Well, I mean, there were cool parts along the way, too. I loved the monsters. Well, there was only a couple, but I mean, like the fucked up bear. I dug that.
It was good, but it wasn't that good. And they hid a lot of it in shadow, I think deliberately to save money.
Whatever.
Maybe it was a mysticism thing. Maybe they wanted it to be mystical and mysterious, and so that's why it was shadowy.
Well, I mean, they could have been trying to hide shitty CG, but I mean, I like we got to see the face of the thing perfectly clear, and there was a nice bit of gore there during that scene when they're in the cabin, I guess you would call it, the shack. Yeah. That whole scene was fucking awesome. I love that. I mean, I really loved that scene.
I liked the scene too, Dom, but I did not like the way the character turned on the other girls. She bound their mouths and then was like, "Tell me why you did this." And then Natalie Portman's like, and she's like, "Don't talk, bitch." And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But maybe it's not supposed to, because she's supposed to be crazy. So whatever. But
yeah, I was happy with it, and I bought that her insanity during that moment. I bought it.
Yeah, well, she played it well. I think that they invested a lot of the $40 million in acting and actors and actors.
Well, yeah, that, and they had to buy the.
I don't know how much Natalie Portman cost per film, but it's
I don't know.
Probably on the cusp of what Julia Roberts cost in the 90s, I'd assume.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Natalie Portman really commands. Well, okay, she was in a lot of Star Wars movies.
I honestly think that Natalie Portman chooses her roles. I think she's deep enough as a human.
No, she does. She does.
Think she knows when her role's really good, and she's like, I want to do this. I'll do it for whatever they can pay me. I'm loaded already. Why would I give a shit? Yeah. And she goes out there and she puts her best foot forward, and it's always better than everyone else's. And I think she leads the way through the entire thing.
All right, ease up.
You think?
Well, no, you want to fuck Natalie Portman. That's the reason you're...
I think she's really good. I think she's a really good fucking actress, and she's been doing it since she was a kid.
The whole movie, you were like, God, look at her. Oh, her mole is in the perfect spot. You said that.
She's got perfect mole placement. She does.
Okay.
Cut the tape. Perfect mole placement.
She looks okay. Honestly, I never really understood this whole hottie worship thing with her.
No.
She's good looking.
It's
but,
not like I'm looking at her on fucking Tiger Beat, dude.
Tiger Beat?
Yeah.
That's not a...
I know.
Okay.
No, it's just she's a good actress, and I respect that.
Yeah, actually,
I explained myself, and if you look at my wife, you'll know the same thing. I like a really hot, nerdy girl because I know I'm going to have a good conversation with her, and I know she's going to look good.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah,
with her glasses on.
You interrupted my yawn with that Tiger Beat shit. I mean, that's hard to do. I stopped yawning because of... Okay, let's move on from there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, $40 million does seem a bit steep for the budget. Honestly, I feel bad saying this because I like the movie, but parts of it look like it could have been made for Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
Parts of it, not all of it.
I think the cameras they used were cheaper than typically used. I don't know if I'm right or not, but when you look at certain shots, you saw this weird like skit. Maybe it's because they were at 24 frames a second, but it felt like it was on a Canon 5D or some bullshit like that. And that's a turnoff to me. If you're on a 5D or less, get the fuck out of the business. You don't need to be making a film on that unless you live in Nashville. And then I say, all right, fine, go make your movie. Because you're making it on a shoestring budget. But if you have $40 million, you better be on something good. You better be on the best cameras you can have.
I was going to say the same thing about a Canon 5D. I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about cameras.
No.
But but you're right, though. I mean, it should have looked better for that kind of money.
Yeah.
Even though $40 million isn't really... It's not $40 million in Hollywood. It's not, whoa, $40 million.
No, it's not. It's like, oh, $40 million? Yeah, well, that made half of The Patriot. Or 1/3 of The Patriot. Or less. You know.
How much? Really? The Patriot cost that much?
The Patriot was made back in that heyday of Hollywood filmmaking, and I bet it was.
That was the heyday of Hollywood filmmaking?
The Patriot was like with Mel. Oh, come on, let's look this up.
What, 97, 8? What the fuck was it? Stop.
2000 film cost.
He's wrong about everything.
$110 million USD, bitches.
No, that's not what I'm arguing.
So it was more. It was less than half of what the Patriot made, but I was close.
Okay, but that wasn't the.
What were you getting at?
You called it the classic or the period of.
It was The Patriot is a classic Hollywood film.
Okay,
Mel
whatever.
Gibson.
Let's move on.
It is.
I know you referred to that era as something like that. The golden.
No, not the golden era. Of film.
No, I know,
That's
but
the 80s, I think. Maybe the 50s, but I don't care about those films as much as I do the 80s films. And I think the 80s are really where it's at for film.
Oh, I agree. Spookies.
They're all right there. That's where it all came from.
My God.
I mean, look
Mutations.
at Ready Player One coming out. It's all of those movies combined into one movie, and it's probably going to suck.
Okay, don't try to act cool. You think it looks really great.
I think it looks cool, and I read the book, and so I want to do a review on it. That way I can compare it to the book, because it's the first book I've ever read where a movie was actually made. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's that bad.
Let's wrap this shit up.
All right, so if you were to give...
Zadar. We have to do the Zadars.
If you were to give Annihilation a Zadar rating, what would you give it?
Yeah, 3.5.
Really, that much? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it, and I do get a sense I liked it more than you do, so...
I was going to... Really, the first time I watched it, I wanted to give it 5.25 stars. And I'm not going to lie. I thought it was really good the first time.
5.25.
But the second time, I've got to water it down to 4.25. And I give it a 4.25 because it's setting the bar for Netflix. And I want Netflix to do better. And I think that Netflix can do better. Do you hear me, Netflix? You can do this.
So you're giving it a 17 out of 20.
That's right. We need you to do better. Because we need more films to come out of independent filmmakers. And I know this guy's no longer an independent. He sort of is, but not really. He acts like he is, but he's really not. But he came from a unique situation. Ex Machina, if that's even how you say the fucking film's name, I love that film. How do you say that movie? How do you say it? Is it Ex Machina?
Yeah.
Okay, good, I got it right. I really like that film a lot. And it was made for $15 million. This film was $40 million, and Ex Machina looked way better. And he said in an interview that he felt like he was trying to make a film with $40 million when he really needed $100 million. But I personally don't think he needed that much money. And I think that might have been what hindered him in making a better film, was the whole time he thought he needed more. And he didn't. He had everything he needed in the actors and actresses in that film. And had he simplified it, it would have been a better film. But instead he meshed it all up with a bunch of bullshit graphics.
Wow. Wait, 4.25. You liked the movie.
Yeah, but when I like you, I'm harder on you. Just like my dad.
If I wasn't handicapped, I would be putting a finger across my throat right now. It's time. No, I would. I said if I wasn't.
Like this? Like.
Thank you. Yes. Good job, sweetie. Shut it.
You patronizing
It's time to go. I'm glad you spent this time with us. And yeah, that's it for this episode of Hashtag No Filter. And I'm Dom, and he's John. All right, let's cut it now. Cut it.